which is the first, I think, in respect of the diploma, the certificate course in financial banking law and financial regulations, which is being offered by the LJRF Academy, certificate course of the LJRF Academy. And we have, of course, distinguished panel of speakers today. There is a special moment of happiness in having Sri Vijay Ranjan, who used to head our New Delhi operations of State Bank of India when I was in corporate center. Dr. Shamjit is, of course, a very respected person in banking law and practice, and I'm sure that the faculty or the people, the resource persons behind this initiative, will be equally accomplished. To my mind, this certificate course or these kind of academic programs are indeed the need of the hour, because with digitization, with computerization, and with increased mechanization, I think banking, the practice of banking has become so routine that people who are involved in the practice of banking do not have the time. Probably there is also no need to think of the logic behind the activities which they undertake, unlike earlier when it was manual, when there was probably a need to think through whatever you were doing. The whys and wherefores were more important at that time, because the need to understand a process, the need to understand why a particular, for instance, a document was being taken, why a particular action was being followed, a procedure was being followed, was more material, was more critical, and was more relevant during those days. So, one of the pitfalls of digitization, computerization, mechanization has been this fact that concepts, the principles, the legal perspectives, etc., have become secondary because of the nature of activity which is now undertaken by bank branches and bank offices. But that doesn't in any way actually lessen the need for being aware of the legal requirements. For instance, I remember that when we joined the bank in 1985 and when we were doing manual banking, we used to be told that for drafting a promissory note, the structure was I, so and so, son of so and so, aged such and such, residing at the address. So, this I believe constitutes what we now call KYC, even though the term KYC was not popular those days. But unless the name of the person, the father's name, age of the person, and the address was captured, the full data or particulars required for a transaction with that person, for compliance legally, for identifying that person, we were told is not complete. So therefore we learned it by rote. I so and so, son of so and so, age at such and such, living at such and such address would only. And now we know that if we have to proceed legally, two or three things are: name is important, son of so and so is very important, as also age and also the address. Now, these are concepts which are probably very basic and fundamental, but I think there is a need to create awareness of these kind of approaches, or why we need to take care of these basic things, so that at a later stage, when it comes to the crunch, we are not handicapped by lack of proper procedure, by lack of availability of data in order to proceed legally, in order to defend the bank's interest. And conversely, on the customer side or on the depositor side, also this kind of awareness is equally important. If I will take one more example only, and then try to wind up this inaugural address. If you take the area of, say, corporate credit, I worked in that area for about 15, 16 years. But even now, the last couple of meetings which I, attended as part of a credit committee, and in the process of discussing the security particulars, if we were to ask the people who are presenting the proposal, what is the security? So then the response will be, sir, security is charged on the fixed assets. Then if you ask what is the nature of the charge, then there is no specific answer. So the nature of the charge, that if it is hypothecation, it will be relating to movable assets. Mortgage, for instance, it is not merely mortgage of land or building, even embedded machinery which is embedded to the ground, the charge is created by way of a mortgage. But these are nuances which I believe people who are presenting proposals, if you are part of a procedure or an action whereby you are lending say 100 crore to a company, you better know the nature of the charge that you as a lender are going to have on the assets of the company. Instead of loosely saying, sir, we have a charge on, what is the nature of the charge? What will be the realization arising out of the that charge being invoked, or that charge being if you take legal recourse to the charge? These are important things, and I believe that courses like this will fill in these kind of gaps, which are very important as far as the practice of banking is concerned. And regulations, the last thing is, there is not only law, regulations. The regulations is another area where I believe awareness ought to be higher than what it is today. Most of the practitioners of, in the banks, most of the people who are in the credit department or in other departments, for instance, I have found very rarely do they go through the original master circular or master direction issued by the Reserve Bank of India. They at best are aware about the circular issued by the banks, which is actually derived from the master directions or master circulars. And then there are complex areas, for instance, the latest master direction draft of which has been circulated relating to project finance, endogenous risks, exogenous risks. These are actually complex, things, complex areas where a deeper understanding based on an academic approach with proper coaching and proper guidance, hand holding by experts, practitioners in the field, by advocates, those who have qualified in law, etc., will greatly add value to officials in banks and others in the financial sector. Is my it's my considered view that this will do a world of good to people who are in banks. They will be much better off. They will be conceptually strong, and they will be more grounded as far as the logic or the rationale of the actions that they perform is concerned. I therefore wholeheartedly welcome this initiative, and wish that practitioners in banks, practitioners in the financial sector, maybe even people who are dealing with the financial system in some way or the other, make use of this opportunity. And I'll be happy to spread the word among people whom I know through WhatsApp groups, etc., about the opportunity for gaining awareness and gaining knowledge, academic knowledge, through an initiative like this. Privileged to be asked to inaugurate this course, and I'll be all ears to listen to others who are going to speak now. All the best to the entire team. Thank you.